Aromatherapy was not known in the UK. Other training schools began, other beauty clinics began. Aromatherapy for the family. Lavender. Eucalyptus smithii is a nice mild oil that can be used for children.
Dry skin and cradle cap.
Lavender, Roman chamomile and sandalwood. Therefore, even if you simply put it on your arms, because it's going into the circulation, it will go through the whole body. Juniper and rosemary. Head lice hate rosemary, apparently. Right. Okay, Wendy, how have you been since I've last seen you?
Not too bad. An itchy nose and very runny eyes.
Briskly rub the palms together and 2 deep inhalations.
And that would be very ideal because I could do that within 2 seconds.
So Jackie, what we're going to do today is demonstrate a facial. Melissa is excellent for dry skin. Nice strong movements. A few sweeps up the scalp and off through the hair. Walk into any chemist shop and there is a huge variety of products all labelled aromatherapy, ranging dramatically in price. Most people are also aware that aromatherapy is a complementary form of therapy and that great health benefits can be experienced when it is practiced. My name is Victoria Sprigg, and as a holistic therapist, I use aromatherapy to help many of my clients with a diverse range of health issues. And throughout this programme, I'm going to explain and demonstrate what happens when you visit an aromatherapist and how you can apply certain techniques to everyday life. Aromatherapy is one of the most ancient forms of healing. Egyptian and Roman cultures certainly knew about the health benefits of aromatic plants, and by the 17th century, even the English had developed a widespread use of herbal remedies. But it is the French who are really responsible for the development of aromatherapy as we know it today. By the 20th century, perfume blending had become synonymous with France, and purely by accident, in 1937, a laboratory chemist badly burned his hand while creating new scents. He plunged his hand into the nearest available bowl of liquid, which fortuitously proved to be filled with essential oil of lavender. His injuries healed with remarkable speed, and there was much less scarring than expected. And, of course, with the inquiring mind of a scientist, he soon set to work investigating the various properties of other essential oils. These initial findings were soon put to the test by another Frenchman, a field surgeon at the front during the Second World War. Medical supplies were limited, therefore using essential oils, which were readily available, frequently proved to be an effective alternative. From this point onwards, aromatherapy became an integral part of medical practice in France, and although it has developed more as a complementary therapy in the UK, there have also been pioneers on this side of the channel responsible for increasing public awareness of aromatherapy and making it more easily accessible. Aromatherapy first came to England when it was used predominantly in the beauty business. Shirley Price herself walked past a beauty salon and noticed an advertisement for a 3-day course in aromatherapy. She was very interested to learn about how aromatherapy could treat the range of illnesses that were on the list. It was interesting at this time because aromatherapy was not known in the UK, and more ladies predominantly were using essential oils not only in their home, but also as a business. This is where essential oils really became commercial. Other training schools began, other beauty clinics began, and finally it became a qualification all on its own, not just in beauty, but just as a professional aromatherapy qualification. You can use aromatherapy oils in many different ways. There are bath oils, burners, candles, beauty products, and even car fresheners that can be used to relieve stress when driving, and you'll see them demonstrated when I'm treating my clients. Although there are many books available suggesting which oils are best for treating various problems, they can be a little confusing, as the same oil can be recommended for seemingly opposite conditions. For example, both jasmine and lavender can be of great value to the over-extroverted and equally helpful under different circumstances to the painfully introverted. Also, certain oils are listed as only suitable for use by an aromatherapist, and anyone who is pregnant needs to be especially careful, as some oils must be avoided until after the baby is born. Consequently, it's always worth searching out a qualified aromatherapist to find out exactly which oils will suit your particular needs and how they should be used. However, I will just run through a selection of perhaps the best known and most commonly available oils before showing you how aromatherapy actually works. The first oil to look at is lavender, Latin name Lavandula angustifolia. You can find lavender everywhere, but make sure you get the best quality oil that you can. It comes from France, ideally mountain tops where it gets really parched. A common variety, Lavandula intermedia X CV Super, is cheaper but not as good. A wonderful antibiotic, antiseptic, antidepressant, sedative and detoxifier, it's of great help with headaches, skin problems, stress and as an aid to sleep. The only time I'd be careful of it is in the first 3 months of pregnancy, when it's best to avoid it. Roman chamomile, Latin name Anthemis nobilis, is a wonderful oil, antibacterial, antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, a disinfectant and rejuvenating. It's most commonly used for the nervous system and is great for insomnia. Very calming, a useful sedative and natural analgesic, Roman chamomile is fine for everyone to use. Just make sure that you get this particular variety. Check the Latin name. Not only are roses a great favourite as flowers for ladies, as an essential oil it's one of the best. Its Latin name is Rosa damascena, and in the main it comes from Bulgaria. Rose is antiseptic, a wonderful tonic, excellent for menopausal problems, depression, and helpful with the circulation. Generally speaking, it's fine for everybody, but because it works with the hormones, avoid in early pregnancy. The best way to describe it is a great big hug. Bergamot is probably best known as the flavouring in Earl Grey tea. The Latin name is Citrus bergamia, and it comes mainly from Italy and Morocco. A wonderful anti-inflammatory and antidepressant, it's also of great benefit for skin problems and is used extensively for eczema and psoriasis. It's good for serious depression and is generally fine for everyone. You do need to be aware that it's photosensitive, so avoid use in the sun. Tea tree is a wonderful oil from Australia, Melaleuca alternifolia, and has developed from Aboriginal medicine. It is antiviral, antibiotic and antifungal, so excellent for any fungal infections such as Candida and athlete's foot. It's also very helpful with acne. The only thing to be aware of is the fact that it can be an irritant on sensitive skin. Otherwise, it's ideal for everyone. Rosemary is a well-known herb in cooking, and Rosmarinus officinalis has many uses within aromatherapy. It's a great stimulant for both the mind and body, as well as being particularly good for the muscles and sports injuries. It can heighten mental concentration and is very popular for treating cellulite. It should not be used with high blood pressure and heart conditions, and worth avoiding with sensitive skin. Throughout history, peppermint has always been good for the digestion, and the essential oil Mentha piperata is excellent for digestive problems. It's also valuable in the treatment of respiratory difficulties, the circulation, and cleansing the liver. It's anti-inflammatory and antiseptic, suitable for everyone to use. Never put it on the skin neat though, and make sure that it's never used in high quantities. Everyone knows the smell of lemons, and citrus limon is a super essential oil. Produced in the USA, Argentina and Israel, it's a wonderful cleanser. It has both antiseptic and antibacterial properties, as well as being a water purifier. An excellent tonic, particularly for the lymph system, and a stimulant to the digestion. It's helpful for slimming, great on cellulite, fights wrinkles, and is a first-rate astringent. A perfect internal cleanser, don't use it neat, and remember it's photosensitive. Of course, aromatherapy is a holistic treatment, and the oils can be blended, as you'll see. And we quite often recommend the addition of herbal products to enhance our treatments. So, let's see aromatherapy in practice. So Vikki, thank you very much for coming in today. What we're going to be talking about is aromatherapy for the family. Now, I know that you're a mum of two small children, so how old are they now?
I've got a daughter who's 11 weeks and a son who's 3.5 years.
Right, and how's it going with the small baby at home?
Small baby's fine. She has got a bit of a sniffle at the moment, but my son is more of a worry. He suffers with hay fever, and due to it being the pollen count this time of year, we had to go to hospital twice on Sunday because he was wheezing. Is there anything that you can suggest that I can do for him?
There is. There's something wonderful which, when you're talking about aromatherapy, there's a mixture of essential oils you can use, which you can burn either in the lounge before he goes to bed or in his bedroom, which is perfectly safe for children. Obviously, especially once they're 3, they can breathe in a slightly stronger blend. Now, the sort of oils I'd be looking at would be lavender, peppermint, and eucalyptus.
Right.
Now, what I'll do is I'll just mix a couple together for you, mix them together, and you'll be able to smell and see whether your son would get on with that vapour or not. Some children find strong oils almost repulsive, and maybe if they're flowery or quite strong flowery smells, they think it's too girly, for instance, especially for boys. So it's very important that the mother or the parent smells it first. So just opening a eucalyptus here called Eucalyptus smithii. Now I'm using the Latin names here because you can get quite a lot of different types of, say, eucalyptus. Eucalyptus smithii is a nice mild oil that can be used for children, the elderly, the infirm. So really nice oil to use for children. Now this one here is peppermint. Okay.
So it's just 2 drops?
I would put 2 drops of each. Now, when you mix it with water, I'll show you what to do. You get your vaporizer. Okay, it's got a candle inside. Light the candle. Fill with water first of all to about 3/4 level, and then add your oils to the water. Just have a smell of that, see what you think.
That is quite strong, isn't it? So.
Very strong, obviously that's neat, and that's on its own. So that's a mixture of peppermint, lavender and eucalyptus.
Right, and do I burn it in his bedroom before going to bed, or do I put it on in the lounge?
You can do either. Obviously it'll make the bedroom smell nice for him when he comes to the room, but if you burn it in the lounge before he goes to bed, it'll be familiar for when he does go to bed, and it won't be, hey, what's going on in my room, you know?
Yeah.
So, and when he smells these oils, it'll remind him it's bedtime. Okay. So it'll also be, oh, I love these oils downstairs, I know, it's sort of my bedtime. So it's nice for him to have that familiarity.
Okay.
The good point about these oils is all of them are decongestant. Now, whether his hay fever is in the bronchioles and down the lungs, or whether they're up in the nose and the sinuses, or sometimes it can affect ears, even the roof of the mouth, that itchiness and burning. Yeah. So obviously, especially the eyes, poor children with red eyes and watering eyes. All of these oils will help with the whole respiratory system. Right. So we're talking the whole area. Absolutely wonderful. If he doesn't like any of those oils, no problem at all. I can add or take away one of the oils. We can bring him to the clinic and he can try a couple of oils for himself. Right. Okay.
What about an 11-week-old baby then? If they've got a cold, what can help with that?
Same oils, no problem, but much more diluted, just one drop. Okay. Now it's fine if she was to smell it in the lounge while he's downstairs. Absolutely no problem with that concentration. But obviously in her room I wouldn't put that sort of concentration. Maybe one drop on wet cotton wool on the radiator.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what other things would help with aromatherapy?
Dry skin and cradle cap is quite a problem at the moment.
Right, okay. Now, with both of them, or is it just the cradle cap?
They've both got cradle cap.
They've both got cradle cap still? Okay, rightio. Best thing for cradle cap would be a mixture of lavender, Roman chamomile and sandalwood. All three oils are calming to the skin and regenerative, which means skin regenerative, regenerating new cells, okay? Now, the sort of mix you want here, obviously you don't want to burn them, you want to apply them directly onto the skin. Yeah. Now, what I'd like to do is mix something for you that you can use on both of your children rather than having to dilute it more for your baby. So the sort of thing would be a lotion, say a white lotion, which is for sensitive skin, a nice pure white lotion from the Shirley Price range. And I would add the three oils I've mentioned, Roman chamomile, lavender and sandalwood. Mix them together, say 1 drop each in 15 ml of white lotion. Right. Okay. And mix them together, and that will give you quite a lot of lotion actually. You'd be able to do his whole body if you needed to, if he has dry skin, for instance, eczema, psoriasis, sunburn, even just normal dry skin after a day outside. And also on the scalp, no problem. And even, obviously, I imagine he's got quite a full head of hair now, so even through the hair, no problem, just put it straight in.
So do you just wash it out the next morning?
You can, yeah. And at least then he's had it on for 11 or 12 hours overnight. That'll be wonderful. And you'll notice a change pretty quickly with both of them. Okay. You know, even within a week, I imagine you'll notice a big change. Do they scratch and itch at all, or...?
My son does, yes, the older one.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a shame, isn't it? So especially to stop the itching, the scratching, to stop any reddening and the irritation, it's nice and calming. Roman chamomile is wonderful for children. Again, there's quite a few chamomiles and Roman is the mildest.
Right, okay. What about bumping? He's always bumping into things. Is there anything I can put on the skin?
Good old lavender. Now, again, there's quite a few lavenders, and the lavender I would recommend is one. The Latin name is Lavandula angustifolia. Okay. Now, when buying an essential oil, it's very important that you look at the Latin name. There's lots of cheap lavenders out there, lavender being the most popular one. Yes. So buy Lavandula angustifolia, and you know you're getting the best one. And obviously make sure it's neat and not blended, not watered down in any way. Right. It's worth spending the extra money. Okay. Okay, and then you carry that in your handbag. Okay, you've got it on you all the time, that means. Obviously you only need a little bottle of it, and if there's any bumps or any bites, mosquito bites or grazes, or any sudden crying, you know, for no reason, or tantrums, etc., you just get the oil out, put a drop in your hand. You might like to try it now. There you go, and mix it into your hands. And either, if he doesn't like it, or if he doesn't want to be touched at that time, you can just waft it around so that he can smell it. It's quite strong, isn't it, when it's neat? And or straight onto the bump, the knee or the elbow, whatever it is. The wonderful thing about lavender is it will heal very quickly. It leaves no bruising or scarring, and it takes all the pain away. So if you were to waft it around, he'll probably stop crying fairly quickly. It also stops the bleeding. If you put lavender, it doesn't matter, you can put it neat onto an open cut, it can be bleeding.
Doesn't sting them.
It doesn't sting at all. I've used it on my daughter hundreds of times, and on myself. So neat onto an open cut, and it stops the bleeding. Absolutely wonderful. Now, what about in the evenings? What's your evenings like?
I was going to ask you about that. Once we've actually got the children off to bed, my husband and I can be fairly exhausted. I just wondered if there's anything, and with the children, that can settle us all down for a good, calm night's sleep.
Absolutely. Aromatherapy, that's where it really comes into its own. There's a lot of essential oils which help with the physical side, aches and pains, but also the mental side, stress, and calming the children and yourselves down after a stressful or hectic day. Now, one of the best mixes of oils that's already mixed is this one, which is the Shirley Price Care for Stresses and Strains. It's already mixed up, and it contains a mixture of essential oils, especially for this reason, which are basil, juniper, lavender again, and sandalwood. You'll probably hear a few of the same names of oils coming up again and again, and that's because a lot of these are good for children, nice and calm and mild for children. Basil and juniper, again, very common oils and lovely to use around the home. So again, you might like to burn it so you all get the benefit of it in the evening, or you might like to massage each other, the children as well as the adults. It's a nice feeling just to have that touch, and then you'll feel and smell the oils going onto your skin, and then you'll have it on you all night.
And is it okay for a baby to have the same oil massaged on her?
I wouldn't use the same dilution that you would on the adults. I just put 1 drop in, say, 5 ml or even 10 ml of the carrier oil, and you can do a lovely baby massage with that quantity. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much.
No problem at all. Annie, thanks for coming in today. We're going to be talking about application of essential oils and mixing them with lotions or oils. Now, in the past, I know that you've had a little problem with dry skin, and what we've done before is mixed up essential oils with a lotion. How has that worked for you?
It's worked very well. I have to use it every day because I do have chronically dry skin, but now it's much better than it was before. And also, you very kindly give me different smells each time, which brings the changes.
Yes. So not only are you helping your dry skin by applying, say, a lotion or even a massage oil all over the body to the skin every morning or every night, sometimes both, but also you've got that beautiful perfume of the oils that you're applying, and sometimes I know that you can smell it all the way through the day or through the night.
Yes, that's right, and you choose, if I have a particular problem a particular week, you choose an oil that goes with that, and presumably it's helping that as well.
That's right. That's the best thing about essential oils, and the holistic approach is to vary the essential oils depending on the presenting problems, and one person will be different from one week to the next depending on bumps or illnesses or family problems or germs that are going around. So it is nice to bring in oils, say, for hay fever in the summer, for coughs and colds and the winter problems, and then again maybe the evening one to help you sleep, and the day one for waking up the muscles, and giving you a bit more energy in the daytime. So let's just put together one of the oils I've put together for you before. I'd have used a white lotion, as so, and then say if it's a daytime one, I might have mixed up some oils like juniper, rosemary, there we are, a couple of drops of each, and sweet marjoram. Now all of these three oils, juniper, rosemary and sweet marjoram, are excellent stimulants for the muscular system.
Right.
They wake the muscles up, they warm them, and they boost the circulation all over the body. Best thing about essential oil is that it doesn't stay on the surface of the skin. It will go through the skin into the circulation. Therefore, even if you simply put it on your arms, because it's going into the circulation, it will go through the whole body, and your whole body gets the benefit of it, because the molecules of essential oils are smaller than that of lotion or a carrier oil. So if I mix this up for you, maybe I can apply it to one of your hands and see what you think of the aroma. It will be quite strong at first, okay, but of course as the essential oils go into the skin, it won't hopefully be as strong, but people will know that you've put it on. Oh, what's that lovely aroma all day. Okay, what do you think of that?
That's wonderful. Very refreshing.
Yes, it is, isn't it? They're really nice oils to use. Okay, so that's one that's good for the muscles as a daytime use. Now, other ways of applying essential oils to the body. Now, I'm not talking about neat, I'm talking in with, say, a shampoo, conditioner, massage oil, or a body lotion, face lotion. Another way are the shampoos. There's a range here for greasy, dry, and for normal hair. And these shampoos come with oils especially for that type of hair. So for instance, the dry hair one contains lavender, patchouli, sandalwood and tea tree.
Right.
Now in the past I've made you shampoos up for your children, haven't I? What was that for?
That's right, they were coming home quite often with having contracted head lice at school, and we were always getting letters saying that head lice were coming round again. And I'm not sure which shampoo you mixed, but you put something in which really does help. I can smell it once I've dried their hair, and it probably lasts a few days, but it does seem to stop them getting head lice as often as their friends.
Super. So you don't use it every day, you use it twice a week or something?
Probably just whenever they happen to need their hair washing. I don't know which of the shampoos you used. Do you have a particular one that's good for children?
I make my own up. I use a base, a nice natural base, and then I add essential oils, particularly for that reason, for that client.
Right.
So for instance, for prevention of head lice, I would use ones like juniper and rosemary. Head lice hate rosemary, apparently.
Right.
Another one is eucalyptus or peppermint. Absolutely wonderful. If you were to go into a chemist and buy a head lice shampoo, you'd probably find it would contain ones like tea tree. Tea tree is wonderful, and it is antiseptic, antiviral, antifungal, but it's quite a mild oil. And head lice, as you may know, get used to the smells and chemicals contained in head lice shampoo, and so the pharmacists have to change the ingredients every couple of years. The same with tea tree, they can get used to it. So again, with the shampoo I make for your children, perhaps I could vary it once in a while.
That it's making a difference, right?
Yeah, okay. And again, there's a nice conditioner that can go with that. Okay. Now, moving on to aches and pains. Now, I know in the past you've had the odd problem with skiing accidents.
Yes, I've got a very poorly knee after skiing and falling several times. It's nothing that can be operated on. It's the ligaments are just very poor. I don't know if there's anything you can do to help that.
Yes, absolutely. The best thing for any joint is a compress. Now the way you'd use a compress is you'd mix your essential oils as normal, there's just the same dilution as a massage. So for instance, 15 drops to 50 ml of carrier oil.
Right.
But that will make about 3 bodies worth of massage. So you'd just need, for one massage, you'd need something like 6 or 7 drops to 15 ml.
Right.
Of carrier. Okay, I can make it up for you, but this is just the dilution in case you want a small amount. And then you would apply it into your hands, massage it round your knee. You don't need to know what you're doing, just basically upward movements and thumbs upwards round the outside of the knee joint.
Right.
Okay. Once you've applied your essential oil, I'm talking all around the knee, underneath the knee as well, because that's where the lymph node is that eats away the toxins that come from the knee joint. You would then wrap it with cling film. Now the reason for doing that is it contains the heat. Another way of wrapping it is maybe with a warm flannel. Yeah. So you'd have the warm flannel around it, but obviously that would cool quickly, so you'd have to keep warming it, keep putting it back on again. But again, it smells absolutely beautiful, and the oils go through the skin into the circulation, so helps in both ways. Yeah.
And how long would I have to keep the cling film?
Well, that's the funny thing. I mean, hopefully about 10 minutes should do
Right.
it, but I'm talking every night, so just hope no one comes to the door while you've got cling film around your knees. But yes, just 10 minutes. But if you can do for longer, even better. And again, raise your knees and your legs so the fluid is drained back downwards, back to the trunk of the body, where again there's bigger lymph nodes which eat away the toxins, and that's what you need. Okay.
Would that be helpful for any other aches and pains, general aches and pains? And
compresses, yes, yeah. Again, it's particularly for joints, so elbows, even shoulders, around the ankles particularly, and the knees. They're the best way. If there's any inflammation, you would use a cold compress to reduce the swelling. But if there's no inflammation, such as arthritis and the sort of knee problem you've talked about, then you need a warm compress.
Right, so the next time I fall, I should have some with me, but use it cold.
Yes, if there's any swelling, absolutely. You put the oil on as normal, and then put a nice, if it's very bad, ice pack over the top of the flannel. Or just not even an ice pack, just a cold flannel. Depends how bad the swelling is really, but it will really reduce it. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Okay, Wendy, how have you been since I've last seen you?
Not too bad. It's just now it's sort of hit hay fever season, so I've been suffering quite a bit with my hay fever.
Okay, and where is your hay fever?
Basically, it's an itchy nose and very runny eyes.
Right. There's something that's wonderful for runny eyes, which is a mixture of essential oils contained in a chamomile eye liquid. And the essential oils are Roman chamomile, fennel and rosemary, which are all wonderful for the respiratory system. And of course, eyes are part of the respiratory system. And the way you would use it, if you're the sort of person who can apply oils directly into the eye, is you'd take the dropper out, make sure you've got some liquid in the dropper, and literally put 1 drop in each eye. That's all you need. It's quite strong when you first put it in. They're not neat essential oils, obviously. They're very much diluted. And the essential oils will help to refresh the eye, they clean the eye, and they help prevent hay fever. It's not just refreshing them and getting rid of that horrible itchy feeling and the runniness, but it's also helping to prevent. So the way you'd use it is maybe you'd use it twice a day during the hay fever season. Okay. The only time you can't use them is if you wear contact lenses, which you don't,
I
do
don't,
you?
just glasses.
No. Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, so that's the best thing for hay fever eyes. Now, you also mentioned your nose as well.
It's itchy.
Itchy and runny.
Yeah, it is slightly runny, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The sort of thing then would be something you could inhale. The sort of oils I'd be looking at would be rosemary, eucalyptus, again excellent for the respiratory system, and rosemary excellent for breathing and respiratory. And some sandalwood. Now sandalwood is a base note. All oils are divided into 3 categories: base, middle and top notes. Base notes mean that they are not very volatile compared to top notes. So a base note will fix the other 2 oils, meaning that it will hold them for longer. And then once you've mixed those together, perhaps in a carrier oil concoction, you can rub it onto your hands and inhale it as so, like this. Maybe 2 or 3 really big inhalations all the way down to the lungs, and it will clear your nose and hopefully stop any itching and runniness.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's a really nice mix to use. You could always have it mixed in your carrier oil all the time, so you don't have to do it every day, and then have it in your handbag, and able to do it straight from your handbag wherever you are. Okay, so tell me a little bit about what you do.
I've got a full-time job. I'm self-employed hairdresser, so it's quite a busy job, very stressful, and I'm on my feet all day. And I find I use my upper body most of the time.
Yes.
And I get quite a lot of tension in my shoulders.
Right, okay. Well, I can understand, obviously you're on your feet all day, you probably don't give yourself any breaks.
No.
You probably work Saturdays as well, do you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Well, the wonderful release for shoulder tension is a mixture of, say, sweet marjoram, rosemary again, and lavender. Lavender will calm your shoulders, excellent analgesic, which is pain relief. Rosemary, excellent stimulant, good for the circulation, and that's what you need, because you need the circulation to come up to the shoulder area and bring the blood there, which brings the oxygen and nutrients ready to heal the area, whether it means antispasmodic, which means releasing any spasm in the muscle and the ligaments, or whether it's decongesting in case there's any congestion and any toxins in the shoulder. Okay. Sweet marjoram again, wonderful oil to use, again for the same reason as rosemary. And because you've got the 2 there with the calming lavender, it's a nice mix to use, smells beautiful, and you'd be able to put that again in a carrier oil mix, say sunflower oil. Mix it together and put it up straight on the shoulder. So for, say, you'd only need about 5 ml, which is 1 teaspoonful of carrier oil, you'd put 1 drop of each, and that's maximum. So if you're making more carrier, as you would do for your handbag, for instance, you'd be putting, say for 50 ml of carrier, you'd be putting in total 15 drops of essential oil, so say 5 of each. Okay, and that's a wonderful oil to use in situ in the salon.
Right. Would it be okay, because I'm very sensitive, I've got very sensitive skin.
Ah, right.
So I have to be quite careful.
Good point. In that case, I'd reduce the dilution by half. So instead of 15, I'd use 7 in 50 ml of carrier. And also I would only use oils that are not sensitive to the skin. They're not aggressive or irritant to the skin. So the ones I've talked about, sweet marjoram would be all right, rosemary I would not use, and lavender is wonderful. Okay, so instead of rosemary for your shoulders, which is I'd think of one that's a nice calming one, I would use one like tea tree. And because you're using half dilution, that should be all right. But what I'd always say is try it on the inside of the arm first before you put it anywhere else. And then if that's okay within say 24 hours, you can apply it anywhere else.
Right.
If it does react in any way, then bring it back into me, or go back home and dilute it even further yourself. Okay.
I know I'm allergic to wheat and dairy products, so would that make any difference to any oils I may use on myself?
Well worth mentioning that. There's a carrier oil which is called wheat germ oil, and I would not use that on you. Obviously it's taken from wheat, and if you've got any sensitivity to wheat at all, I wouldn't apply it to the skin, because again, a certain quantity of it does go into the skin and even digested in the gut, so you might have a reaction to it.
Okay.
But with most carriers you're fine, such as sunflower, and another beautiful one to use for you would be calendula, which is made from marigolds, hence that beautiful colour.
Good rich colour, isn't it?
It is, and it smells lovely as well. And that's wonderful for calming irritated skin or sensitive skin. The other thing we wanted to talk about today was Care for Clear Head, which is excellent for headaches, and perhaps you might just like to try this with me now. 1 or 2 drops in the palm of the hand, briskly rub the palms together, and 2 deep inhalations. And that way it goes straight to the olfactory bulb, which is behind the nose here, which sends a message to the brain, which tells the brain a different message depending on what the oil is. In this case it contains lavender, sweet marjoram, eucalyptus and peppermint. The peppermint you're probably now tasting.
I can.
It goes all the way down the lungs as well, even to your ears and down your nose and your eyes, make your eyes water. Really wonderful oil to have in your handbag for those head tension times.
Well, yeah, because you never know when you're going to get one. And I get quite a few at work, and that would be very ideal because I could do that within 2 seconds rather than taking paracetamols and things like that.
Yes.
That would be ideal for me. Much
Wonderful.
better.
Good, good. Well, good luck with it, and I hope
Yeah.
things improve.
Okay, thank you.
So Jackie, what we're going to do today is demonstrate a facial. I'm going to use a whole range of cleanser, toner, a massage, then a mask, finishing with a moisturise. It's a nice range of products, but just I need to know a little bit about your skin type first of all.
My skin's greatly improved in the summer, so I've just got a few dry areas around my nose, but everything else seems to be okay.
Right, because we used to have to deal with a little bit of dry skin around the whole face, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's gone now.
Yeah, it seems much better.
Wonderful, okay. Well, I'll use the cleansing cream, the moisture cream, and the honey mask in that case.
Okay, lovely, thank
Okay.
you.
I'm just using some cleansing cream here to take any makeup off. Just a little bit around the eyes and underneath. Very sensitive area, we have to be careful around the eyes. And then a little bit on the lips. There we are. As you can see, keeping contact with the skin all the time. Always making sure one hand is in contact with the body. The cleansing cream does an excellent job of taking makeup off, not just cleansing the skin. And a little bit round your lips. What I'm doing is just pulling the skin to one side so I don't stretch it too much, just by taking the makeup off by itself. There we are. I have some cleansing cream here, just dotting it around the face, always including the neck, and up around the eyes. And then using some nice sweeping movements all the way up the neck and over the chin. Up each cheek. Particularly around the nose area. And up the forehead. It's a nice feeling to be massaged around the eyes. Very relaxing. We have a lot of muscles and nerve endings around the eyes, and it just feels wonderful. to have that area massaged, finishing at the temples. Now I'm going to take the cleanser off with a Melissa freshener. Melissa is excellent for dry skin. And it smells beautiful. In the same pattern, going up from the neck to the chin, up the cheeks, the nose, the forehead, and finally round the eyes. And at this stage the skin feels very fresh, having had the makeup removed and the cleansing cream taken off. The next stage is a nice massage. Now that the skin's nice and clean, has no chemicals on it or synthetics. I'm using here a sunflower oil with some calendula oil in it, and the essential oils I'm using are lavender and Roman chamomile. Probably, Jackie, the strongest one you can smell there is Roman chamomile. Yeah. And it's, again, both of them excellent for sensitive skin, dry skin. It helps in the repair. They contain something called esters, which help regenerate skin and balance the skin. Okay, I've applied the oil. Now I'm going to do the massage. Some nice strong sweeps up the neck, all around the neck. Removing toxins from underneath the lower lip and coming up the cheeks in a heart shape here. Nice strong movements. Always pressure coming upwards. Over the nose, up the forehead, stretch the forehead out, removing any wrinkles, and around the eyes. Just with one finger. Now going to apply some acupressure moves, working up the forehead. It is possible to actually apply quite a lot of pressure at this stage. The forehead is obviously very bony and can take a lot of pressure. We have a lot of nerves and sinuses in this part of the forehead, and they feel wonderful when they're massaged in this way, particularly acupressure moves. They respond to a pressing movement in this way. As you can see, I've worked upwards in the centre, and now I'm working from the centre outwards, all the way up to the hairline, giving it a nice press. Down to the temples. Now I'm going to use my thumbs and stretching the skin downwards. So all the toxins that I have squeezed are now being pushed to the sides where the lymph nodes will eat up any toxins. Coming round to below the eyes, using 2 fingers to work on the sinuses. And here I'm breaking up any fluids in 3 moves, 3 sweeps with the 2 fingers. Like so. And then in the same way as I massaged the forehead, I've squeezed and now flushing out all those toxins. The next movement's a lovely rocking movement where I press down on the forehead and then 2 fingers round each side of the mouth. Down on the forehead, around the mouth. This massages the whole face in one movement. How did that feel?
Fantastic.
Good. Now I'm doing some more acupressure moves, using both of my thumbs on one point on the chin. At this point, quite often, people really relax, even if they've had a whole body massage and haven't been able to relax during. At this point, this acupressure point will allow them to totally switch off. There's another one just each side of the mouth here. And you hold just for a few seconds. And then again, where the jaw ends, you can feel the ends of the teeth coming together here. That's your third acupressure point on the bottom there. And then coming up, always in contact, switching fingers and moving round to between the eyes there. This is an excellent acupressure point for headaches. If you hold this point even on yourself when you have one of those headaches that's just coming, you should find it will go, especially if you have some lavender or sandalwood or peppermint on your finger at the time. Peppermint would have to be diluted though, because it can be an irritant if it's used neat on skin. And then finally, acupressure point on the temples. And then coming up to the scalp. First of all, just introducing the hands to the scalp, working around the back, over the ears. Nice, slow but firm movement. The scalp can actually take quite a lot of pressure here. Although what you don't want to do too much of is pull the hair so that it hurts. Just want to move the scalp more than pulling the hair. And particularly around the back of the base of the scalp here. Wonderful movement. Then another way is to keep your hands on the scalp and move the scalp without causing friction on the hair. And you can do this by securing the head with one hand and working your way round with the other hand. And then some pulling movements at the end. And Jackie should be really nicely relaxed by now. Always pulling upwards and backwards. Okay, so I'm going to carry on by providing a mask. The mask I'm using here is a honey-based mask. Just like the cleanser, I'm going to patter it all over the face and the neck, making sure it's evenly dispersed, and then nice massages all the way up the neck. Over the chin, alternate hands on one cheek and the other. It's a nice feeling to lift the skin there. It feels wonderful when it's being done to you. And over the nose. Again, this one smells beautiful, very healing and excellent for dry skin. And that stays on for just 1 minute. Having waited a minute, just put some Melissa freshener on some cotton wool pads and gently applying it up the neck, simply to remove the mask. Under the nose, and up the forehead. Now I'm applying some moisture cream, which is a beautiful colour. Nice yellowy colour there. It contains lavender, rose and geranium. Spreading it through my fingers, and again the normal pattering over the face and neck. Moving up the neck. Up the nose, paying particular attention around the nose area where Jackie still has a little bit of dry skin. Up the forehead and around the eyes. I always like to apply a little bit to the eyes here as well. My final application is a little bit of super light eye cream. As you can see, it's a slightly greeny blue colour that contains azulene. That's what gives it that colour. And it's wonderful around the eyes. You only need the tiniest bit. So just a little bit around the eyes and underneath. There can be the odd hair to remove. And the eyes like that. Wonderful. And quite often I've noticed ladies have slight redness around this area, here, and down their nose. And I've used super light eye cream in this area as well. Again, just the tiniest bit. And it helps not only reduce the reddening, but also to prevent it from happening in future. The sort of things that can cause it are acidic foods and drinks, which cause something called rosacea. So just massaging that in very gently around the eyes, underneath, and up the nose. And any reddening reduces immediately. And then I normally finish by just doing a few sweeps up the scalp and off through the hair. And just pulling the hair back again. Hopefully you'll have found this programme helpful and full of ideas for using aromatherapy to improve the quality of your life and those who are dear to you. Remember, aromatherapy is the controlled use of essential oils to improve the health of the mind, the body and the spirit. Also, I do have to say that to get the best out of aromatherapy, it is really worth visiting a suitably qualified aromatherapist regularly for massage and ongoing advice about using essential oils. If you'd like more information, there are further details and telephone numbers after the credits. Essential oils have become a vital part of my family's first aid kit, and at the first signs of tiredness or stress, there are plenty of options available that are side effect free and very pleasant experience at the same time. There's relaxing with the help of aromatic oils in a vaporizer to raise anyone's spirits after a hectic day. And one last thought, prevention, as they say, is definitely better than cure. So remember, you don't have to be unwell to give aromatherapy a try. There really is something of value to everyone.